Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now today guys, I'm very excited because I'm going to be potting up two gorgeous little succulent propagation successes. And I'm going to be doing this is I've got these two gorgeous little pots here, and these lovely little pots were gifted to me by my wonderful friend Alison and also her children Emily, Reese and Flynn. And Emily, Reese and Flynn actually made these pots themselves out of clay. Isn't it gorgeous, guys? The perfect size little pots just for little succulents here. And this is perfect for these type of succulent successes with little leaves. And what I did with these two leaves here, they're literally leaves that fell off. This one is my Kalanchoe tomentosa succulent plant, which has lovely sort of furry leaves. And what the leaves fell off, so I just laid it on top of the soil of the plant, and it sent out little roots, as you can see. So that's a sign it needs to be potted up now. And when I do pot it up, such as in here, these roots will carry on growing. A new little baby plantlet will form from here. This original leaf will eventually die back because the roots and the plantlet that forms will actually use this leaf to take its energy from, and also the moisture from, and its food from, to form into a new plant. In other words, the leaf is almost like a seed. So although the leaves might look pretty big for this size pot, the leaf is really only, imagine it like a seed, but in a leaf form for succulents. This little baby, this is another one here. This is one of my, it's a Graptopetalum crossed with Echeveria. I'm not quite sure the varieties. It's a cross between them both. But a leaf fell off and I just put it on top of the soil again. Little beautiful, gorgeous, pink little roots. Look at that, guys. Look at the little baby. The little baby has already formed. So if I put this into this pot, it's not the leaf that is going to grow. It's this little tiny baby here. Two different examples. I wanted to show this in the video. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about propagating succulents in a minute. This one is a perfect example of when succulent leaves first start to propagate themselves, they'll send out little roots, as in this case here. And they'll even do this. Sometimes I have succulent leaves just fall at the back of the polytunnel, and they'll just take root even though they have no soil or moisture at all. It's quite incredible how they manage. But these did fall off, and I just lay them on top of the plants they was on, and their little roots coming out. Now when I pop this up into its little pot, as I say, this will eventually die back and form into a little plantlet like this. Now this is at that stage a little bit ahead of this one. As I say, this is a cross between Graptopetalum and Echeveria. It's already got the roots, a little bit more advanced, and it's already forming into a little plantlet. As you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. A tiny, tiny, tiny little replica of its mother. And it is going to be using this leaf here to draw its energy from, and even most of its moisture. And this is going to get bigger. This will eventually dry up and shrivel up as it takes its energy from that. This will wither away, and this will form in its own little plant. So although this looks like a big leaf, that's more than enough here to get this started off. This will manage in these little starter pots, probably for a couple of months or so. And then once it's got into a more of a plant, then I can pot it on again in the future. And then these little pots are going to be reused again for propagation pots. So thank you, Emily, Reese and Flynn, for making this for me. I really appreciate it. They're the perfect size just to start off succulents. So thank you again so much. And I want to share the video when I did the unboxing of the wonderful plant gifts that Alison, Emily, Reese and Flynn sent me. Very, very happy with them, and the cuttings and the little plantlets are doing really, really well. I had some crassulas that were absolutely gorgeous, and also chlorophytums. They're growing amazingly well. And Alison, I'm so sorry for taking so long to making this video, but it's been pretty hectic, and I'm happy now that I'm in a situation where I can pop these little babies up, perfect size. So that's a little bit about the difference in succulents rooting. Now, if you want to know how to propagate succulents the easy way, well, I've links up above to a video I have made on how to propagate succulents the easy way. It is as easy as literally pulling a leaf off, leaving the leaf to callus over for a few days, and then potting up, just resting on top of the soil. You can either leave it or gently spray with a bit of water. They'll send out roots very easily, but a bit more in that video, and I show some examples of what I've done to propagate mine. It is really easy, guys. So do check that video out if you want to know how I got these little baby plantlets. And here we go. Now I like to make my own cactus and succulent soil mix myself. The reason being is I like to know what goes into the soil, and it's far more economical because if you buy cactus and succulent soil that's pre-made, pretty expensive and for small bags, and when you have a lot of cacti and succulents, as I have, it would cost a fortune. And I've even bought pre-made soil mixes, and you open them up and they're full of flies and just bark, and I've even found glass in there and plastic. It's awful. But this is pretty good. The loam-based soil I like to use is a mix, like a John Innes mix, which I know is more of a UK and Ireland thing. It might not be available in the States. But any loam-based soil I prefer to use with grit and horticultural sand. Horticultural sand is important that you don't use builder sand because they are different. Horticultural sand is often sharp sand or just a well-draining sand, and it's not containing salt that a lot of beach sand would contain. But the most important thing is that you use a well-draining soil. I know some growers do very great success with using peat. You know, they're happy with that. The most important thing, the soil dries out quickly in between waterings and it's well draining. This is just my personal mix that I've had great success with over many, many years. So do check that video out if you want to know how to make your own cactus and succulent soil. And there we go. So I'm going to pop these up here. And this is going to be such an easy repotting video, guys, because that's really all it is. These are in the very early stages. Now that hasn't formed its little plantlet yet. It's just forming the roots. So obviously the roots, it's good to get them in there, like so. And that's all I need to do, that one. And this one has already got its little plantlet forming. So the roots need to go, obviously, I'll tip a little bit of that out actually. That needs to go in there. The roots need to be covered there, but I also don't want to cover the little baby plantlet because that is its little baby, the exact replica of its mum, but in a tiny form, just starting to grow there. And that's all I need to do to make sure I put a little bit of these quick. You don't want it to topple over because the most important thing is that it touches the soil. I'll put a little bit more there because I don't want it to fall back out again. It is really little. And as I say, once it has got more of a hold, probably in a month or two, because young succulents do go quite quick now. It's sort of late summer here, but hopefully I should be able to repot this before the end of the summer is out. And that's it. So you want to make sure that if you have a leaf that's already got a little baby forming on it, you want to make sure that that's obviously open, the open air there, so it can get light. And then what I'm going to be doing now, because these have already got roots, I'm going to be spraying them with a little bit of rainwater. You can use, if your tap water isn't really full of chemicals, you can use tap water too. I just prefer to use rainwater if you can get hold of it and it's clean. And then I'm going to be putting them in the polytunnel. And because they are in little pots, they are going to dry out pretty quickly. But as I say, they're at the stage where they are just in the early beginnings, so you want them to dry out fairly quick anyway. And do stay tuned for a future video, probably in the next few weeks, when these have formed into more little plants and I pot them on. So Emily Rees and Flint, thank you again, and Alison of course, for these gorgeous pots and all the lovely plants you sent us. And thank you so much for your support, guys, really appreciate it. And thank you all for your support and for watching my crazy cactus and succulent channel. It's wonderful to share my passion for these amazing plants with everybody from all over the world. And if you're new to the hobby or you just want to check out my website, then please do go over and check my website out, desertplantsofAvalon.com. Hover your mouse over the growing tips, drop down bar, lots of different sections on how you can care for your cacti and succulents. And do stay tuned. I've got a lot of plans coming up now. It's coming up to the autumn and the winter. I'll have a lot more time to write a load of blogs on my website on different types of cacti and succulents and how you can care for them as well. And stay tuned for lots of future how to care for different types of plant videos coming up soon on this channel. And I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye. Bye. Thank you, Alison, Emily, Rees and Flynn.